Overpopulation is a real threat that we face as humans in the 21st century and beyond. Overpopulation is the condition where the existing human population exceeds the carrying capacity of Earth. It's caused by many factors such as the bettering of medicine and facilities, reduced death rates, depletion of natural resources, and many more factors. Now, overpopulation is a real issue that can be seen today in countries such as China, where the population is a booming 1.3 billion people, and India, which has over 1.2 billion people. Countries such as these are already facing extreme overpopulation issues, and even countries like China have tried to combat overpopulation for quite some time now. Now, we may be okay for now, but the world will reach its carrying capacity one day, and there needs to be a solution on how to fix this problem. So here are some solutions that have been proposed. A solution that can be thought of widely is family planning. China already has used this method and is using it still today with their one-child policy. Now, this solution can go as far as banning the births of children to simply educating families with family planning programs and clinics. Now, this solution can be very immoral if used to kill children or impose a limit on childbirth, but it can be very good if family planning programs are created to influence the amount of children being born. Either way, the main problem we face today with overpopulation is the continued rise of childbirth. And while a one-child policy has been used before, the policy might not be the best route in order to prevent or stop overpopulation. Another solution that might control birth rates is tax concessions. Now, this would essentially make provisions in taxation that favor small families with none or a limited number of children. Now, it would basically bribe families into having lesser children by setting up a tax-funded child reserve system that would give back the money to the families for their first child born. Now, a second child born would get the remaining amount or lesser, and a third child born would be taxed or maybe even fined. Now, families who have no children will be given the fund when they reach a medically recommended age or if they undergo family planning. Now, even families who choose to adopt could get tax benefits. Now, this option seems very logical as it gives an incentive to have less kids or no kids at all, and it promotes adoption, and everyone loves money. But this system has some cons as it requires a well-defined taxation system, as taxing everyone the same amount can cause issues for the poor versus the rich. Now, examples of this have already been seen in China as they have tax structures that favor small families. One of the simplest methods of preventing overpopulation is the simple requirement that can help the most, and it's sex education. Now, sex education can be viewed as taboo in most cultures and religions, but the reason we are having more and more children is because of sex. Now, by enforcing sex education in schools, students can be taught about the risk of sex, resources they have to them, contraceptives, and most importantly, they will learn about safe sex. Now, by making it mandatory, the stigma of having sex can be removed, and more young adults can know the consequences of unprotected sex, such as childbirth, which increases the population. Now, contraceptives are also a huge portion of sex education that could curb the overpopulation we might see. Now, there is a large debate over whether contraceptives could be universally accessed, but if safe and effective contraceptive options for both sexes were to be able to be accessed by anyone, we would be able to see a drastic decrease in birth rate. With overpopulation, we will meet our carrying capacity here on Earth by not having enough resources, so something needs to be done about the environment. A population can only grow as much as its resources, so we need to preserve the environment and look for alternative, sustainable resources. We can see today that there is a limited amount of non-renewable resources that are being used up. We can combat this usage by using more alternative, sustainable resources. We can decrease our reliance on our non-renewable resources and look for long-term solutions that can provide for our overpopulated world. Now, cons associated with this is that we might not have the technology to be able to create these new ways to interact with our environment, and this method will only provide us with the resources and is not actually decreasing the world's population. Now, one of the coolest solutions to combat overpopulation is to create more places for us to live. Now, the Earth may have limited room, but we can look to the stars for an answer. People have gone to suggest that we build space habitats in asteroid belts or build spaceships to live on. We could colonize the moon or Mars, or by building compounds to live on, or by terraforming planets. Now, this could easily solve the problem of overpopulation by creating new places to live. Now, the only problem with this is that the technology and science just isn't available to us yet, and to make that kind of move would be really difficult. Now, we don't know the consequences of living off our own planet, and that still doesn't fix the problem on Earth that we have. Now, this one is really out there, but why not just start killing off people? We could host Hunger Game-esque events and make it a global event. We could do a purge night and it would allow crime rates and overpopulation to decrease. Heck, we can even take a lesson from Jonathan Swift's A Modest Proposal and start selling and eating babies. Now, all of these are easy fixes to overpopulation and they would definitely help drastically. Now, although these are all great fixes, killing is, well, killing, and there's a reason why it's illegal and immoral. Now, there are many solutions and ideas on how to fix our ticking time bomb of a planet. Now, things such as education, family planning, and tax concessions are viable options that could be started today to help counteract overpopulation. While things like creating new resources, moving to outer space, and mass killings might not be the right route to go to. Now, either way, China's already started leading the way in combating overpopulation, and what they are doing might just seem cynical in this day and age, but it's definitely justified as the world is getting more and more crowded. Now, a step towards our sustainable future involves preparing for overpopulating this planet, and there are many solutions and ways we can start making a change today to help ensure our future for tomorrow.